So there is this world of light, Shangri-La, the promised land, heaven. It's here and it's all around, it's always existing. But we're not really aware of it because we have all of our various issues and problems. Our perceptions are so smushed down to this narrow view. And so we don't see the light. We see our world through our perceptions. We each have our own belief system that sees us, shows us not what's actually out there, but shows us what's inside of us already. And then we project that out. Our mind is like a projector, film projector, literally. And it's just like a massive virtual reality just shining images from our mind. And the images are this, everything we see. So if there's anything that's we see as positive, well, we're seeing something that's positive inside of us already. And we're just shining it through that film projector. And, oh wow, we see what seems external, but we're seeing the contents of our own mind. This is very deep. This is the core of how we undo our ego and all of our problems. And if I'm feeling in conflict with myself, if I'm being hard on myself and beating myself up and being hard on myself, that is projecting out also. So what I see out there, I'm going to see just this. I'm not going to notice the sunshine and the lovely people over there smiling and happy. Hello, welcome. I'm only seeing the darkness that's inside of me, expressing, projecting on the surround sound IMAX screen of the world. Right? So if people are just like annoying and you see one problem after another, whether it's in your life or in the big stage in the world, we're seeing the projector of our mind. We're watching and if we're triggered and upset by it, that's the important point. Angry. If we're angry at anything or anybody, we're watching through that filter of anger that's always inside of us. This is actually really good news because what that means is if it's coming from inside of us, then we can do something about it. It's the most liberating, empowering, self-responsible thing. Everything that's upsetting, if it is coming from being generated by this mind projector, that means I can change it. I have a choice. This is the huge shift in train tracks where this course is leading us. Because otherwise we live and we think it's just how it is. There's just the problems and annoying people and annoying governments and annoying neighbors. And there's nothing you can really do except for what we do. We have a choose again. Choose again. Choose differently. Choose better. Not in terms of really changing the people in the world out there, but choosing which teacher we are now going to look with. We have two minds and two teachers. So the light world, the dark world. We have our spirit mind connected to the infinite intelligence, and then we have the ego mind, very dark and limited, selfish, attacking, poor me, I'm a victim. That whole dark thought system, it's an ego thought system compared to Holy Spirit's, our higher self, and God's thought system, which is based on there's only joy, only true love is reality, only God is reality. All there is forgiveness and unity and oneness and forgiving. One system of thinking versus another system of thinking. Yes, I don't think I really covered that yet, but that's the split mind we all have. The Course teaches we have a split mind. We are psychotic. So the thing is, when we get caught up in anger, frustration, all the negativity, we have to have enough discipline and self-awareness to catch ourselves. Just stop before we judge and get more upset, and then we judge and get more upset, and then after an hour of dwelling on it and complaining about it, you got to train your mind. So catch yourself, stop, and see where it's coming back from the film projector. It's not an objective reality. It's coming from the film projector of the mind. Choose again, choose differently. I want to choose better. I can see peace instead of this. One of the early foundational lessons in A Course in Miracles. So as soon as you catch yourself, realize, oh, I actually do have a choice. I can choose peace instead of, God, this nonsense again, and just staying upset. So you switch your mind, you switch your decision. I have that t-shirt that Alex has been putting out, Love is the New Normal. On the back it says, choose love. That is so profound. I don't know if he is aware of that. It's that choosing point, to be aware that we have a choice. Like, wow. And then we operate still the projector. We see from the belief systems, but now from the light realm. So now we see what's the beautiful world, the real world. Eckhart Tolle he describes the real world. When he first awoke, he described it, right? When he first went from ego, pain, suffering, and then he had a full ego death, and then he woke up the next morning, everything was glowing with this beautiful light. And he said the usually curtains that he saw, he was like, the light was streaming in, and he was just like, how did I never notice that before? It's so beautiful, and it's so quiet and peaceful. So that world he's been in ever since. That is the goal of A Course in Miracles. A Course calls it the real world. That's the real world. This world where we do not see and feel that love and light, it's not the real world.
So like the person who was like, got all the information, does she have that access?
Helen Schuckman?
Yeah.
No. She just received the dictation to write down the notes. And then it's still her process as a normal human being with her ego to now start applying it. You gotta do the work. Yeah. Now, she did have some episodes, some mystical experience episodes. Yes, this one's relevant. So one of the ones, she got a full peek and a full glimpse into the real world. Several, oh yeah. One was in a movie theater. She was there in the 60s. And then suddenly, she said she felt a radiation from her chest, and it just blazed out, and it was the infinite light. And she felt nothing but the love and the peace. And so the second one, she was in a subway. Very cool. This is so, yes, I'm glad you asked that. See, the flow is already occurring. It was a busy afternoon, rush hour heading home. People were on the subway. This is in New York City. The energy was, she said, everybody was tired and miserable. People had their eyes closed. They were grumpy. They were grouchy, reactive. You could just imagine that setting. And they didn't want to be there. And then she was very judgmental. That's the problem. So she was in her dark mind, the ego mind, and she was just equally grumpy and not wanting to be there. But then she had the experience. For whatever reason, she was gifted where she closed her eyes, and then she looked out the light, and she saw the beautiful love just radiating everywhere. It didn't discriminate, and so she had just love and compassion for everybody there, who a second ago she was very judgmental of, and suddenly, just like that, she went from the ego mind to the spirit mind, the right mind, and saw true reality. And so that's how instantaneously the shift can take place. And that's literally how it takes place, that quick. We don't really believe it, we're not even aware of it, so it takes most humans, go to a gathering like this, read books, study and study, so you take a long time to prepare your mind for the possibility and the openness and the willingness and the readiness to have that instant experience. The Course teaches about the holy instant. It's not a long time. It's just if we get a snapshot of a glimmer, just pausing the mind just for a moment, just for an instant, true reality is revealed. The full infinite light, the beauty, the inspiration. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a nice pre-summary. That was good. I look forward to these days. I'm like, what's going to happen? Okay.